So one of the positions of note this spring is center. What have you seen out of those guys?
It's been great. Really the cool thing is seeing those guys starting to take command of the groups that they're in with. That's a position where it's a lot more mental than people think. Getting those other four all targeted and headed in the right directions is a pretty hard deal to do, especially versus Coach G's defense. Where there's a lot of stuff going on. It really makes us be conscious of where our eyes are and all that type of stuff. So, really seeing Grayson, Issei, Isaac, really kind of all those guys rolling through their KD, being able to, I think, just build depth at that position is awesome. We were pretty fortunate in the past, having Bake kind of as the mainstay there. But I think, adding depth is always great, especially when it comes to snapping the football.
And I noticed Chuba, is he now with your group?
So that's kind of something I'll let Coach B address with, kind of position changes and different things like that. So appreciate the question, not trying to dodge it, but just want to toe the line.
Troy and then Michael.
In terms of the guys that you got in the transfer portal, how have you seen their impact so far this spring, and where do you see them fitting in with the group?
They've been great. Not only on the field but off the field. The group is really coming together as a unit. It's been awesome to see, especially when you're taking guys from kind of all over the country and seeing them kind of come together and merge with the guys that are already here. Their impact, I think, has been immediate, just because, once again, about the depth that's been added to the room. And our ability to kind of mix and match and find what grouping kind of works best. I'm really glad that we have them. They're all extremely bought in, which is awesome. They're seeing improvements in their game, which is kind of leading them to want more and more every day.
And then, although Rhino isn't on the field right now, he's still working his way back. We've seen him kind of be a vocal leader out there with the line. How has he progressed just in that role, in the leadership role?
Rhino has been unbelievable in that role. He's been just absolutely fantastic. You couldn't ask for a better person kind of in that role. He's been a phenomenal cheerleader for those guys. He's been a great voice for them when they come back off the sideline and kind of talking them through different things, different issues that come up, different technical things. He's really, really grown, not only as a leader but as a player kind of in this time too. He's really dove into learning the scheme, learning the adjustments, kind of learning more about defense. I'm so excited for when he gets back to kind of see where all this goes for him. The sad thing about Rhino is, when his injury happened, he was really kind of coming into his own. A lot of people forget that, those were his first collegiate snaps last year. And anyone who's played knows that, the growth that you make between the first time you're actually out there to the next is unbelievable. So, I'm super excited to see where it all goes for him when he gets back.
Michael and then Brian.
Two questions. The first one is a follow-up about Rhino. When he does come back, do you see him slotting into left tackle like he was last year, or are you going to look at another position?
Yeah, I really don't believe in guys losing their position due to injury. Maybe that's a little bit kind of because of my past, dealing with injuries and fighting back to regain your position, especially when he was playing at a pretty good level before he got dinged. Now we'll be smart about his return to play, and we'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. But right now I'm having to tell him, hey, calm down. Like, stop. You're not cleared yet. Like, stop. If you watch practice, you'll see him, 20 yards behind the group. He gets the play from me, and then he goes through his footwork on his own, and I'm like, hey, stop.
And then the second question, Tristan Balance, very long, but also kind of relatively lean for an offensive lineman. Does he need to get bigger for what you guys want, or do you kind of like the shape that he's in?
The crazy thing about Tristan is he's 300 pounds. 6'8", 300 looks a lot different than 6'2", 300, you know? That's why I'm continuously trying to stretch myself out. But you know, I think, you know, obviously, you know, we would like him to get a little bit bigger, you know, but some of it still has to be about functionality. We don't want him to get to the point where he's so big that he loses the, you know, kind of the assets that he has now with kind of his suddenness and explosiveness. So kind of finding that happy medium of, you know, being obviously larger, but not to the point where he loses kind of who he is.
Have you ever coached in a spread kind of offense, and what is the difference in that compared to the straight up for the offensive line and their blocking schemes?
So we were a spread offense last year. You know, maybe not the exact style that we're playing now, but at the end of the day, you know, blocking people is blocking people. Zone is zone, and you know, gap schemes are gap schemes. You know, there are subtle differences and you know, a few different techniques that we've had to employ with some of the schemes that we're running. But you know, at the end of the day, offensive line play is offensive line play, which has kind of been cool for Coach Daigie to kind of come in and us to kind of blend the two worlds together, and you know, obviously build it in his image, but allow us to still be who we are.
Justin and then Michael.
What's the next step for Alexander Deuce? Like, what does he need to do to improve, or just kind of after, you know, starting so many games last year, what's the next step for his growth?
You know, that's kind of an interesting question. You know, I think the next step really for everyone is to continue to improve. You know, this game is one that's ever changing. So, you know, while we continue to chase perfection and all that, you know, I think it's something that's always kind of just out of reach, right? So it keeps us wanting more and keeps us training and keeps us doing the little extra things to try to reach that ultimate, you know, kind of pinnacle of the position. You know, Alex has made huge strides from when he first got here to where he is now. He's another guy that's kind of taken on a little bit of that leadership role within the group. You know, kind of because when you look at it, it's, you know, it's an entirely new group. And when it comes to snaps played for the Wildcats, he's considered a veteran. But you know, he's working every day to improve on the things that he needs to improve on. You know, he's another one that, you know, people look at him and you think he's 30 years old, but like last year was the first time he had ever stepped on a college football field to play in a game. So, you know, everything that happened to him last year was new. So, you know, having that under his belt and continuing to grow has been awesome for him. And he's another one that, you know, even with, you know, the recognition and things that he received at the end of the last season, he's hungrier than ever. He's in my office every day. Like, it was funny if you guys would have came by, what was it, Thursday? I think I had maybe 8 guys in my office, and Coach B walks by and he's like, bro, I don't know if the building's structurally sound to have this much weight like in this office. You know, we've got guys laying on the floor, guys on the couch, you know, all the chairs are filled, guys are sitting on like a cabinet, and you know, he's one of the ringleaders in getting those guys up there to they're so hungry to watch the tape right after and to improve. It's a really fun group to coach that way.
And then you're gonna have Big Jonah get drafted coming up here next month. What has it been like for you to see him go through this draft process, and then how do you see him translating to the next level?
I'm so proud of him. You know, I recruited him out of high school. You know, obviously we didn't get him, but it was, you know, having that relationship with him prior when I got here was beneficial to kind of help with the buy-in and all that. You know, a guy of kind of his status could have easily said, you know, I've done it this way my whole life, so I'm going to keep doing it this way. But he was completely bought in, and you know, just the added level of football knowledge that we were able to give him. You know, really, he really impressed at the combine. Obviously on the field with what he did, but with his meetings, the amount of football knowledge that he had was unbelievable. And just to kind of see him grow in that space, and really, become the guy we all knew he could be. I think he's going to translate, great at the next level. He's a guy that's probably a prototypical guard, but has the length and ability to slide out on the edge. And what a lot of people don't know is he's insanely smart and can be the man in the middle too if need be. Now I don't know, how many people are looking at him to do that, but he is a very, very versatile player. And, you could see that last year with having to swing from right to left in the middle of a game twice, and then, finishing the year at left as a guy who's played his whole career on the right side. I think that speaks to his versatility and his overall knowledge of the game and his ability to do multiple things like that, which is paramount on the smaller NFL roster.
Lastly, we'll go to Michael.
Okay, 2 questions. I think you guys were doing a drill out there where it seemed like it was just respotting the ball, and the offensive and defensive linemen just had to kind of run and get reset.
Oh.
Is that what that was?
No, yeah, that's our 5-on-4 drill.
Anyway, but this offense is obviously a lot faster paced. So how much of an emphasis is it for the offensive linemen to really be as fit as possible?
It's huge, right? Coach Brennan says all the time we can only go as fast as our slowest offensive lineman, which sometimes kind of digs at me a little bit. But I'm like, hey, we're not the fastest people in the world. No, like our ability to get lined up as quick as we can is paramount to our offense. And that drill is kind of a twofold drill. One, it shows them the pace at which we need to do things, but it also makes them execute while they're tired, understanding slide protection, understanding their pass protection rules, understanding their set angles, and all that stuff. So it's a really great drill that Coach Joe brought to us, and it's we've done it now. Was this practice 6? Maybe we've done it 4 times, and it's really been beneficial for us.
The other question is, are you able to tell us what that bird cawing thing is that the offense does?
That's proprietary information. But I do want to make mention of the fact that we had a coaches clinic over these past 2 days, and it's been amazing to see. I think we've had about close to 200 coaches here from local Arizona coaches, as well as some from the state of California. I think we've even had some from the Vegas area here, which has been awesome. It's cool for us to get to meet a lot of the local high school coaches, and we really want to extend invitations to all those local high school coaches and let them know that this is an open door program. We would love the opportunity to meet all of them and give them access to us and kind of anything that we can do to help their programs, as well as them doing things to help our program. There's a lot of great minds at all levels of football, and some high school coaches have been doing things better than we have for a long time. So it was really cool for us to be able to be around them and get to know them, and really for them to get to know us.
All right, we'll take them.
Thank you.